and welcome. I'm Derek Schaerer, a senior Sage account executive with ETHOSystems. ETHOSystems is a Sage preferred business partner in North America. And Canada, we are proud to present Sage Intacct Construction. Before we take a closer look at Sage Intacct, allow me to provide a better understanding of ETHOSystems. ETHOSystems' sole focus on construction and real estate has led to over 4,500 successful implementations. Over 35 years working in and serving the CRE market has allowed us to positively impact more than 22,000 lives. How do we do that? By implementing the best software and pairing it with unmatched training and support. And as a preferred Sage partner, Ethos is implementing Sage Intacct. Sage Intacct is the first and only preferred provider of the AICPA. Sage Intacct is not only the preferred provider of the AICPA, it is considered the best-in-class cloud financial management system. Reasons for Sage Intacct being the best is due to the integration, automation, and visibility, which essentially provides your organization with increased transparency, truth, and trust in your numbers and your team. Sage Intacct Construction's open architecture supports integrations with the best in-breed ops solutions. The automation continues to reduce duplication in several areas of the software. One feature being OCR recognition and AP billing. The real-time dashboards pulls back the curtain on the true data. Whether you're an executive, in accounting, operations, or an interested shareholder, the information you need to make key business decisions is always at your fingertips. Now let's dive in and go through a high-level overview of Sage Intacct Construction. We've logged in and landed here at the homepage. Now, this homepage is feature-rich. What we're going to hone in on is the 2024 Release 1. There are 4 releases a year with Sage Intacct, and Sage Intacct being a true cloud solution, multi-tenant, there are no downtime, no interruptions to your business as there's upgrades being done. And we can look at these release notes, and great that Sage Intacct is worldwide, but we're in Canada, so all we care about is what's happening here. What is happening here? And we can look through company administration, accounts payable, accounts receivable, consolidations, or the specific industry. So whether it's your role or industry, you can check out on what's the latest and greatest. Now, if we look up here to the top right, we're logged in here as Emma Penny. Now, I'm Derek Schaerer, but we're logged in as Emma Penny. It is 2024. We can identify as whoever we want to be. But in being Emma Penny today, we have full admin rights. And this environment is highly customizable, and so are the user rights, where we can provide access or restrict it depending on the roles that you have within your company. Sage Intacct handles multi-entities seamlessly. So whether that's intercompany transactions or consolidations, this is the program for you. So we have the top level, and the top level essentially acts as a container of sorts, where all the other entities fall underneath. Now, sharing is caring, and whether that's your chart of accounts or vendor list, we can share that throughout all the entities. And, well, as much as sharing is caring, we can also just keep information specific to a certain entity if need be. Now, a lot of times, there's a ton of time that logging in, logging out, it's annoying handling things. But as you can see, all that happens here is you click, and we add it opens another browser tab. We keep our spot here, we don't lose it. And as you can see here, what's nice is with the color coding, you know where you're at. Quick little glance. Okay, Timberline GC. Now, as we continue on here, we'll go right below to the menu, or what some people refer to it as the application chooser. And within here, we have a lot of areas that we can look at. No matter which one we select, which application we select, there's going to be an all or setup. The all is fundamentally what we're going to be able to do within this application, and setup sets up what we are able to do. And on each one, let's go to AR. Let's do an overview, and it will show you what's happening within that application, the data that's within there that we're managing, the reports that can be generated, and then the workflow, which is customizable to yours. Now, where are people going to land mostly? Dashboards. There's many users that might be entering information, but there's a lot of users that aren't. But they're still going to use the dashboards to check out on the company's health, what's happening. And as we see here, we got a project performance dashboard. We could live within this project performance dashboard. to see the company's health, what's happening. As you can see, quick glance, there's these quick indicators right here that are showing you what's good, what's bad, what might be ugly here, and that we can check up on. But really, when we start up at the top here, we have a lot of ways to filter. Right here's date. We can go by location if we want, or job, and then we can go by project here. So whether that's an active project, backlog, current project, or filter based on project manager, we can do that. Right now, today, you know what? If you don't mind, we're going to go back in time. We're going to go back in time, June 30th. Let's go June 30th, 2022. Seems like a good time. Let's apply that and watch as what these are is performance cards. So performance cards can report on financial and non-financial information. And yes, we can add these quick indicators for you, whether you like a thumbs up, smiley face, or an arrow up. You can show you what's happening right now. So with project revenue, project cost, as you see me hover over these, if it's going green or if it's blue, we can drill down further. So if we want to look at the costs, project costs, we can look further at these project costs. So the cost of sales has been $196,000. Well, let's look closer at the labor. And yes, let's get to that 196. We've got wage allocation, labor burdens coming all the way. And if we scroll all the way down here, we end up with that 196. So just below these performance cards is some great reporting. Some people use this as almost their WIP report, but there are other WIP reports we can generate in the system. But we have a look at our active projects, or our project overview. We have an original contract and approved changes. I know, no shocker to anybody seeing this, changes happen in construction. So we might all have a good idea what's going to happen, and a change is going to happen. Now, changes happen within the system, but these are only the approved changes that are put on here. Then we have our contract total, budget estimate, estimated gross profit, profit margin percentage, commitments, total billings, total cost, gross profit, percentage spent, percentage billed, and profit margin percentage. So a lot of good areas of information here. And if we need to look closer at this, for instance, commitments, what is making up this QuickBowls Portland commitments? Well, it's as simple as drilling in. We don't have to go further than this. We're going to stay right on the dashboard. We can see all these subcontracts and all these line items. And as long as it's blue, we can keep drilling down further if need be. So the cost of sales, here's some materials, subcontracts. So we've got these purchase orders and some contracts that are going to make up this total. Now, just below this project overview is a project overview by PM. So for every project, we're going to want a project manager on it. And we have Doug. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of red here, so this is great. So maybe instead of looking for a problem, we're going to ask Doug, what's going right? Why are we having such good success? And again, same columns, just a different way of looking at it. There's a lot of different ways to slice and dice this information in Sage Intacct and do it any which way you want it. And now we're going to look at job type. So if you have, restaurants, hotels, by warehouses, well, it might be great that you're killing it on hotels, but what's happening with our restaurants? Maybe why are we not doing as well? And we can go through that as well. Backlog reports. If you have backlog projects, you can certainly look at this. And then we have project profitability by type. Up here, we've got our restaurants, hotels, warehouses. So we have a dollar perspective as opposed to a percentage perspective. And if there's an area where you're not interested in right now, just minimize it. That's fine. We got project profitability rate right underneath here. So with our cost of sales, our labor, materials, subcontractor, and other all factored in here. We can look at QuickBowls Portland, the Crest, Five Oaks. The projects that are happening for you real time, we can look at that. And in case the sea of numbers is kind of getting to your eyes, we can add in a better visual for you, because even with these graphs, so a bar graph, we can drill in just like any of these numbers here. And you can continue to drill in if need be. So no need to use the menu. You can continue right from there. This is just one dashboard out of the many different ways we can look at things. Because there's operations, but let's look at finance. And let's look at a controller dashboard. For controller, it's going to want to see it specifically. And somebody figured this is the way a controller would like to see their information, which is revenue, accounts receivable, accounts payable, gross profit, and operating expenses. And I love that we're seeing green arrows all up here. That's wonderful. I know that's not always the case, but let's just smile and be happy that that's what it is today. Profit and loss summary, profit and loss by detail, profit and loss by location, and then we got balance sheet detail here, followed by AR aging by project. Now, what you need to see, we can have on here for you. This is just an example. Now, reporting is great. I love reporting. I want to know where I'm at, but I also know that certain personnel in the company are resistant maybe to learning something new, and that's okay, because we can also use dashboards in a different way. We can use dashboards in a way where instead of just looking at reporting, we use the dashboards as a navigation tool. So we may have an operational personnel out in the field that has no interest in learning the system, and that's okay. We can create this dashboard for him where he might have project revenue right up here, and here's a good WIP report that you can use. But essentially, all he's interested in is change requests, change orders. And we have a pending change request right there that he could look at. Now, he doesn't have to go figure out how to navigate through the system and get to a change order. We just put it on here as dashboard, and he can look at its tablet and just go a change order. And right there, we're going to get right to the change orders he needs to look at. So just a good example of the way we can use dashboards for navigation instead of just reporting. Dashboards are great, but there's got to be businesses happening that's fueling these dashboards, and that's projects and jobs. So let's navigate there. So let's go to a project, and here's our project list. We're going to check out Five Oak Storage. Now, looking at Five Oak Storage, from projects, we're able to essentially stay in one area to enter or review all essential data relating to the jobs being performed. Because beyond the essential project info, we'll be accessing estimates, change requests, change orders, and project contracts without using the menu for navigation. Okay, I really want to highlight that. We're not going to have to use this to go anywhere. We will see everything we need to within this area right here. So first up, let's just look at this project information. So this, like we looked at it before, Five Oak Storage. We've got the category of what kind it is. It's a contract job, project type. This is warehouse. But we have various other ones, and we can quickly add on the fly right here. So simple. We can put a quick description, the customer is associated to, a begin date, an end date. And since we support sub jobs, here's a parent project, and we can invoice with parent right here. Now, in this next spot is address information. And then below here is for every project, I would really certainly hope somebody's responsible for it. So we have Doug here. So good old Doug is our PM on this job. Next spot over is additional info. And as we can see, we can calculate the percentage, estimate duration, actual duration. So all kinds of information right here that we need to see. And then our billing. This is where we're going to set up bill due upon receipt, or do we want it net 90? I don't think many people want it net 90, but it's there for you if you want it that way. And then billing types. We can have fixed fee, you want T&M. What way do you want to bill? And then we have our contract amount. And then just below there is our dimensions. Now, what Sage Intacct does is strip down a traditional chart of accounts into account segments. So these dimensions, and we can have up to 12 dimensions. Essentially, look at it like tags. Tagging a transaction so we can report on it later, which is going to give you the who, what, where of any transaction. And then just below there is our documents. Sage Intacct can virtually accept any document type. And so as we can see here, all right, I do have a document there. We can add more if we need be. We can check that one out if we want. And so this one is, well, it looks like, picture. There we go. We can have pictures. Now, we'll move over here to project summary. So we got the financial summary, but let's look at the project projections, actual billings, and we got other costs, projected cost difference. So taking us all through any kind of project projection that we need to. And then our hours, total billable hours and total unbilled hours. Well, this is a demo environment. This is a little disconcerting. I would hate to see that this is all going to be unbilled hours. That's an issue to me. But total billable expenses, unbilled expenses, total PO commitments. So all this project information right here, giving us a good summary. And then the cost codes on the job. So all cost codes, and cost codes we will set up initially when we're implementing. And do you want a standardized list? Do you have specific cost codes and customized cost codes that you want to use? By all means, Sage Intacct will support that. There's a lot of cost codes happening here, so we can see there's a lot of moving parts and people to make this project work. And just over here, one more is estimates. A lot of times where we start is an estimate. So let's open that up. We got our estimate ID, our estimate total, and the project we're working on. And as we move down here, let's look at our estimate entries. We have our workflow type, okay, original, project, the effective date. Then we got our cost codes, cost types, and the items. Here, is it labor? Is it subcontract? What's happening there? The department, our location, the customer tied to it, and then we have our amounts with memos that we have. And now we can minimize that if we want to go further, and we don't need that all polluting the screen. And just below there is our change order request. So like I was saying earlier, from this project area, we can get all the areas we need to. And let's start with this change request. So as we can see here, this was approved change. Subcontract 22,000. So let's follow this. And we'll maximize that screen. We can see this change request ID was number 5. Total cost 22,000. Total price 26,000. So see a $4,000 upcharge. I know I'm a whiz at math. Change request. This has been approved, posted already. So, and just below here is the change request information. So this is where we're touching so many elements within Sage Intacct. So we have our project ID, and then it's been approved. All these can be clicked on, and we can find this information. So change the plan, add canopy cover to open air parking spaces. But let's look at this. This is tied to a project contract ID. A project contract that probably started everything. Project change order. So this number 5 change request was changed to a number 2 change order because it's already been approved. And we'll look at the entry for this. So cost type, project contract ID. And as we can see, this cost of 22,000 price has been marked up 4,000, tied back to our estimate right here if we want to go to. But since this change request was approved and converted into a change order, let's go to the change order. Now this change order has a lot of the same header information in. That's all tied directly related to that change request for this project. And so we can see that the change request was number 5 right there. And again, we can see the total cost 22. Total price was 26,000. All this just coincides. And I haven't used a menu to get anywhere. We're finding all this information out and flowing right through this project information. We can get right to the project contract. So let's take a peek at this project contract. Let's maximize that. We have 2 different tabs here. So let's go project contract. Here's the original price. And the approved changes. So that 26,000, right? So there's 22,000 plus that 4,000. We've got the 26,000 right there. We can look at our total billed retainage balance, total payments received. Let's scroll down a little bit where we can see the summary, approved change price, total revised contract again. And these contract lines, let's look at these project contract lines. This is where we're going to be setting some things up here, which is going to be your line name. So we've got masonry, wood, plastics, and composites. So you're tied to your project, the item code, line dates, billable or not. And this is a progress bill. And then we see, okay, so Canada, this says retainage percentage. What I can confirm right now is that we do holdbacks. So just because it says retainage, we will do holdbacks properly the way that the Canadian way. All right. And when we see here, what were we following? I believe that change order was going to be 26,000, and it was tied right here to that specialties. So all right there, easy to see. Now let's go to that tab 2, where we go to billing details. And again, it's going to give that project contract billing summary. So we have that good old summary, total billed, percent billed, percent billed net retainage. Excellent information. But what I really like is, let's scroll down a little bit here. We got project contract invoices and AR invoice payments received. So this used to be two different screens. And about a year ago, this got changed, and this is great. So we want this total and this total to match. And that's wonderful. They match. You don't have to go other places and try to compare or print any kinds of paper. We can see right from here, 1120, perfect. Boom, we got it. And if we want to take a closer look at this invoice, let's take a closer look at that invoice. Let's open that up. What I like to see is invoice total, amount retained, but what I really like to see is this paid. And visuals help. And, as fresh as you might be first thing in the morning, by 3:30, these little stamps might help. It just it grabs that eye and it grabs your attention, and it's paid and it's done. So again, we just went through estimates, change requests, change orders, project contracts, all within that project menu. And we didn't have to go anywhere else outside of that. So great information. It's all tied together. And we've looked at previously to this was that dashboard reporting. Before capping things off, let's look at reports. So let's navigate here. We're going to go over reports. Now, there's a lot of areas. Here's a report center, but we can look at financial graphs, financial reports, custom reports, and then Sage Intacct's built on a huge reporting engine. So we even got this interactive custom report writer. So all these wizards can essentially make any report you want within minutes. But for today, we're going to the report center. Yeah, let's leave there. And now right away, we can see we've got favorites, all reports, memorized, scheduled, my reports, and custom reports. Now with scheduled reports, if we have certain individuals that just want to see a group of reports, we can send a group of reports. You want 22 reports? Let's group up 22 reports and send them to you. Now we have all types, financial reports, cash management, general ledger, accounts payable. I mean, anything you want to see within here. There's a ton that come with. And on top of it, when you partner with Ethos, we have a ton that we know that pertain to the construction industry. Let's look at one here. This is the project estimate versus actual. I think this is a phenomenal report. This came from Sage 300 CRE. And those customers throughout North America made it known that this is a huge report that's very important, because we all end up with an estimate of what's going to happen. And then there's the actual cost. So we have the primary project. Do we have any sub-projects? Group cost code. Then we have the cost codes. Everything's cost code driven. We have the estimate, actual, variance, and we have cost types, labor, material, subcontract, equipment. And we have these quick indicators too to show us if there are issues along the way or possible issues that we need to look at. And one more report I can show you here is AR aging by project. So whether it be financial or operations, we can conjure up the reports you need to see. We have to start with an intention, and we can create the desired result with Sage Intacct Construction. So please like and subscribe ETHOSystems. Look forward to working with you. Enjoy your day.